I'm Jonathan.
I'm Zelda.
And welcome back to North Lake Survivors. How have you been, sir?
Good. How have you been, sir?
I've been good. Good.
Yeah.
Tired lately, out of breath a lot.
Yeah.
Headaches. I think this weather is killing me.
It's the weather.
Yeah.
I used to play Pokemon Go every day, but now it's been like super hot and I stopped.
Well, speaking of Pokemon, I just found out that the Pokemon card I have, if it was graded, worth just under 20 grand, but ungraded it's worth like $18 to $100.
Yeah, that's a crazy difference.
That's insane. Why is the grading making it so much more valuable?
That's weird. What is so important about the grading?
I don't know. Is it weird that even if it was still worth that much, I'd still be like, I don't know if I want to sell it. I do like the card.
Yeah, I mean, especially if people are wanting to spend that much for it. I feel like over time, maybe it'll become even more valuable.
Well, it was free. I thought everybody had it.
I don't have it.
You got it when you went to the movie.
I didn't go to the movie. I saw the movie at home, I guess. What is it, Mewtwo Strikes Back?
Yeah, the first movie.
Yeah, I saw that movie at home. I didn't go to the theaters.
Oh, they gave it out when you went to the theater. That sounds like, this has to be like the most common card.
Dang.
Like, everybody got it for free.
But not the graded one.
No, the graded one, you just got to send it in to somebody.
And they do it for
And
you?
they grade it, yeah.
Oh, then
cost.
why is that worth, what, $20,000?
Well, that card that was like 19,800 or whatever was a grade of 10. It was a perfect card.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Maybe because
condition.
it was like in the 2000s. That's when the movie came out, right?
No, I think the movie came out. Me and Nina were texting about it because there's literally the third movie is literally called Pokemon 2000. So this had to be like 97.
So in the 90s, man, can you believe how?
So when Nina was like, the card's like 30 years old. I was like, excuse you, sir, that's rude. Why are you making me feel old? It's unnecessary. Like, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I remember that movie. I was like, my 5th grade teacher took me and my friend to go watch it because we had good grades. And he's like, that's kind of weird. And I was like, yeah, now that I say it out loud, that is very weird. I don't know why our 5th grade teacher took us to the movies.
That is really weird. So you took the whole class of
No, just me and one other student, me and my friend.
That is really weird.
Yeah, no, it is.
Huh.
Our moms dropped us off at the school. She took us to the movies, and then she drove us home. She drove us east to our own house and dropped us off.
That is really weird.
Yeah, I never...
If it was a class thing, I'd be like, okay.
No,
but just
it was
a couple of students, I'm
just
like,
the two of us. Just two students.
That's kind of odd.
It was very weird. At the time, I didn't think it was weird.
Yeah, because you're a kid.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, cool.
Now I'm like, I don't know if I would let my 5th grader go on a school trip, to a movie with a teacher.
Not alone.
Well, there was another student there.
Another student, even that, I'm like, if it was a whole class, sure, but just a couple of students, that's kind of weird.
Definitely, in hindsight, I'm like, that is odd.
Yeah, very odd.
I don't know if I would allow that as a parent. Like, if I was a parent.
I don't think so.
It's very weird. The 90s were a different time.
They were.
They were a better time.
Yeah. I remember just walking to school like nothing when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. We would take a shortcut through the Catholic church, so we'd hop the fence, walk through the Catholic church parking lot. It would save like 20 minutes from our walk.
Yeah.
We would stop off at the corner store every morning, get sodas and candy.
Yeah.
We'd sometimes be late playing PlayStation or watching TV.
The dial-up internet.
Oh, God. There were like 3 websites. Mostly just went to Cheap Planet.
Cheap Planet?
You're a gamer and you don't know what Cheap Planet is?
In the 90s, I wasn't playing any online games. I was playing the
this wasn't for online games. This was for regular games. Cheap Planet had all of the codes.
Was it the thing, the Game Shark, that you plug?
Well, Game Shark you would plug in.
To the end.
Cheap Planet was just a website you could go on, and then you could search for the game, and then it'd be like, here are all the cheat codes.
Oh, cool. I never heard of that.
Oh, everyone used it, man. It was...
We used Game Shark.
Well, Game Shark was for fancy people with money. We didn't have that. We would all gather around someone's computer and be like, hey, print me out codes for this game. Oh, print me out codes for that game.
Well, damn. I didn't know how expensive Game Shark was.
We used to tell urban legends about Game Shark. If you have a Game Shark, you could do this. Game Shark does that? I have no idea if any of the stuff we said about Game Shark was real. It was an urban legend. I never knew anyone who had it. Part of me didn't even know if it was real.
I don't think it was even mine. I think it was my cousin's. And I played at my cousin's or they brought it to my grandma's house, and then they used to plug it. You put the Game Shark in the
and then you plug the game into the Game Shark.
Yeah, and you pull the game into.
So, what is it like? What
like
I've never used it. Like I said, it was an urban legend.
Yeah, like you pull up different games, and they have different like codes and like cheats you can put to like get you more characters or like more levels in the game.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's for rich people. We didn't have that. Don't look at all my movies.
You say with all your thousands of movies in the background.
I was texting Natasha talking about that card.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the hell spends that much money on something so frivolous? And then I was like, don't ever look around my house. I was like, if you look at the things, like, if you ever had any idea how much money I spend on certain things.
But I mean, if you were a billionaire.
I mean, 20 grand's nothing then.
Yeah, 20 grand is like, you can just drop that on the floor and they wouldn't miss it.
Yeah, but if I had 20 grand, I'd just pay off my car. I wouldn't buy a Pokemon card.
Yeah. But to a billionaire, they're just like, oh, I dropped 20 grand on the floor.
Can I walk behind this guy?
I don't miss it.
Good God, can you imagine?
I know, right?
That's the life.
That is.
I hate being poor. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Mean, it's content, you know.
What's I'm saying? I don't think I'm poor anymore. I think I'm lower middle class.
Yeah. You get to do stuff. You get to, go out and have fun and buy things you want. And
yeah.
I mean, it's like, there's like poor people who are like on the streets, and I'm like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh.
I looked
at the same time, it's like you don't know who's like just like a scammer and who's like a poor. Because there's a lot of people who are like on the streets and we're like just scamming people, and then they go in their limo and they're like, ha. I got this.
So you
money.
always say that. We were in college. I don't remember what class it was, but you came out of class one day and you were like, my teacher told us that homeless people make $400 a day. And I'm like, where is that statistic from? I don't even remember what class you said told you that, but you were like, yeah, in class today we learned that homeless people make $400 a day. And I'm just like, what?
Oh my God, that's funny.
I'm doing pretty good right now.
$400 a day.
Well, yeah, so I'm doing really good right now.
I guess like they stay in the same corner, especially if it's in a rich neighborhood. A lot of people will like drive by and give them money, and you know, depending on how long they're sitting there, they could be getting $400 a day.
But $400 a day? How much is this? So 4 times 7.
12. Wait.
12.
28.
It's 28.
28. So I don't know why I said 12. 2,800.
2,800. Almost $3,000 a week.
Dang.
Like, that's 12,000 a month. There's your 12.
Dang.
It's 12,000 a month. We're just under 12,000.
That's crazy.
Probably like 10, 11,000 a month.
We should like.
We should be homeless.
Yeah, we should be homeless and test this theory about.
Well, it's 100% a theory because I'm just like, where did your teacher get the statistic from?
I don't know.
Because it could not be true.
Maybe he was homeless one time and he made $400 a day, and now he's a teacher.
The teacher who took me and my friend to the movies, when she was a kid, she was homeless. Her and her family lived in their car.
Oh.
She did not tell stories of making $400 a day.
She was probably not doing it right.
Oh, God.
I guess it's probably different if you have kids.
I don't think anyone's making $400 a day panhandling. I really don't think that's a thing.
It might be.
Unless they're like in like Dubai or something where everyone's rich. Like, that's not happening here.
You go to Highland Park, wherever the rich neighborhood
The rich part of Arlington?
No, in Dallas. What is it called?
Oh,
Highland. I thought it was Highland Park. Or Highland.
You're right. That's Highland Park.
Yeah.
The Highlands is Arlington. I'm sorry. You see where my confusion is.
I was like, wait, isn't Highland Park in Dallas?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Highland Park is Dallas. The Highlands is Arlington.
Where they have all their private jets and everything.
Well, I've never been there. If I get within 20.
Well, in Love Field, I see a lot of private jets fly out of Love Field.
Oh, okay. If I'm within 20 yards, a poverty alarm goes off and they boot me out.
That's where Tom Cruise went.
He went to North Park.
Isn't that near Highland Park?
Where's Highland Park? I don't know where Highland Park is exactly.
I feel like North Park is the rich area of Dallas.
Yeah, but it's also like I go there once a month, basically, not to North Park, but like a few blocks from there's the big half price.
Yeah, but North Park Mall, I feel it has all the rich stores. That and Galleria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North Park, I mean, that's where we used to go with Tina all the time.
Yeah.
It is the money
it is
place.
Very high.
It is very money.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I can't, I don't know, man. I wish I saw Tom Cruise.
Me too.
I would have loved to have met Tom Cruise.
What are the odds that he went to like Pecan Lodge and North Park?
That he was in Dallas of all places.
Yeah, he was in Dallas. I'm like, man.
I would have gone. Just to meet Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I guess he didn't want to tell anybody because everybody would have went to that location and then it would have been like insane. So he just wanted to surprise everyone.
Oh God.
The man.
So you watched all the Mission Impossibles?
Yeah.
Was this your first time?
Yep, I remember watching like bits and pieces of the first one, but I didn't remember the whole movie, so I rewatched it.
And you never even heard of the TV shows?
No, I've never heard of the TV shows. Did you watch the TV shows?
I've seen the first episode of the first show, but I've never...
What's it called?
Mission Impossible.
Oh, it's called Mission... Oh, okay. They didn't even try to change it.
So back in the day, Desilu Studios. Do you want to take a wild stab in the dark as to who the main two people of Desilu Studios were?
Desilu's? Is it I Love Lucy?
Yes. So Disney Arnaz and Lucille Ball.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds familiar. Lucille Ball. Oh, wow.
They owned a television studio.
Oh.
They started it off of the money from I Love Lucy. And they are responsible for two franchises that started in the same year that are still going.
I Love Lucy. I miss that show so much.
I've only seen a couple episodes. I Love Lucy is something that I need to watch.
Funny. You would love it.
But do you want to take a stab in the dark as to the two franchises that are still going today that started in the same year?
As I Love Lucy?
No. From her company. Her company produced two TV shows in 1 year. And both of those shows are still going in one form or another today.
Today?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I gave you one. I did give you one. Mission Impossible.
Okay, Mission Impossible, which I never heard of.
Yes, I gave you that one. So what's the other one?
Another from the 90s.
No, from the 60s.
60s. Oh, shit. It's crazy because so Mission Impossible, you can watch that on what streaming service? Or do you just watch it on cable?
It's on DVD.
DVD, oh, okay.
I don't know what streaming service. Probably Paramount, I would imagine.
But it's still streaming, Mission Impossible?
I don't know if it's still streaming. I would imagine.
Oh. So, okay. I'll just take a wild guess and say Munsters.
No. That is the right era, but no. Munsters is not still going today. There was that shitty Rob Zombie movie that nobody liked. No. The other one is there's over 900 episodes or movies.
Bewitched.
Bewitched had that shitty Will Ferrell movie. No. There's over 900 episodes or movies of this other one. It's a household name. It's science fiction.
Oh my gosh. Let's go back to the 70s.
60s.
60s.
Oh, God.
I already said Bewitched. I already said Munsters. Oh my god. What other shows were there?
In the 60s?
Yeah.
What science fiction show started in the 60s and is still going today?
Star Trek?
Yes.
I got it right.
You got it right. She produced Star Trek and Mission Impossible.
Oh, that's cool.
So Leonard Nimoy was obviously one of the main stars of Star Trek.
Nimoy. I only know him because of Big Bang Theory.
So offensive.
I'm sorry.
After Star Trek ended, he went on 2 seasons of Mission Impossible.
Wow.
And so
So was Tom Cruise in the TV show?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
So,
that's weird.
Well, we'll get to that because I just found this out.
Yeah.
So, I only saw the first episode of the TV show. I am eventually going to watch the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But after I think like 2 or 3 seasons of Mission Impossible, the main star left the show. I think because he wasn't getting paid enough.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought in a new guy. And I'm forgetting the character's name off the top of my head, but I had his name. Mm-hmm. His name's important. You even know his name. Why can I not think of it? We'll get to because we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
So a new guy comes in. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, and he's the star for the rest of the 5 seasons or whatever, 5 or 6 seasons, depending on if he came in season 2 or 3. I can't remember. And he's the star of that show, and then the show ends. Right? Okay. Then the show gets revived in the 80s. And that same actor comes back and plays that same character. Wow. Now in charge of the entire organization.
Okay.
And it has 2 seasons. And then it gets canceled. And then in the 90s, Tom Cruise is like, I'm a huge Mission Impossible fan. I want to make a movie sequel.
Oh.
So he brings it back. And they reach out to the guy who was the lead character in the original show for most of it, in the entire second show. And they were like, we want you to reprise your role and be in this movie. And he was apparently game until he read the script and then said, no, I will not do this. How dare you do this to my character? And from what I have read, every single star of the original show has denounced the first Mission Impossible movie.
Wow.
Because the bad guy in the first Mission Impossible movie is that character. They wanted the guy to come back and turn his beloved character from both shows into the villain.
Wow.
Which they still did because it's the same character name. They just then recast him as the same character and made him a shitty, evil backstabber. So the villain in the first Mission Impossible movie is the hero of both shows.
Why is he the hero?
Because he's the hero. He's the the guy who trained Ethan Hunt is the star of the first 2 shows. Yeah. And then he just kind of randomly goes bad in Mission Impossible the movie.
Oh, because he backstabs him.
Well, because remember, he became a traitor.
Yeah. And
that was the whole part of the movie. He killed his whole team, framed Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the hero from the shows is the villain in the first movie.
Yeah. That was the first movie. He wasn't in the second movie.
No, he dies. He dies, yeah.
Because I remember he died. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers for all of it. But yeah, so
they don't know who we're talking about. So.
Well, spoilers for we're going to talk about all the Mission Impossible movies. So he's the hero of the shows and then becomes the villain.
Yeah.
So then you get the second movie. I liked the second movie. You and Nino said you hated it.
I liked it. It was very 2000-ish cringe. That's what I would say.
But
it's very
the leading
cringe.
lady was so beautiful.
Yes.
How does any of that matter?
I mean, it doesn't. I liked it. It was just very cringe. Like the fighting scenes and like the...
Oh my god, the giant fight scene at the end?
Yes.
And the motorcycle chase?
Yeah, and like the transitioning, it was very like... I guess because it was in the 2000s.
Yeah.
It was very PowerPoint-esque.
It was. But I enjoyed it. But nothing in that movie is really important.
I don't know. Nobody referenced the second movie. Why is that?
The second movie is completely ignored.
Why is it ignored? Do you know why?
No. Well, because nothing in it was ever brought back.
Because they never talked about his love life. He just like went on.
Well, because in the third movie he's married.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that happens in the second movie that is relevant going forward.
Yeah, he just never mentions his love life.
No.
So I'm like, I wonder if they had beef, and that's why he didn't.
I don't know. Like I think it's because the third movie he's married to somebody else.
Yeah.
And then that becomes the central character. So why would this? We have to imagine he's been on hundreds of missions.
Yeah.
These movies are just select few.
Yeah.
And the second movie, as much as I like it, is the odd one out.
I liked it. I did like the storyline too.
But it's the odd one out.
Was
it doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the movies.
But I did like the story and the plot.
Because I really enjoyed it.
I did. I liked how the plot was, the chimera.
And the mountain climbing in the front.
Oh yeah, he was free climbing.
So badass.
He did that by himself, right?
He does everything by himself.
Yeah, I read that he did it by himself, and there was just like a thin cable holding him in case he fell, I guess.
I was listening to my favorite podcast, Film Steve Dave, and they were like, well, no wonder Tom Cruise is a Scientologist. He's like, you see in the 7th movie, he drives the motorcycle off that mountain,
Yeah.
and he did it like 5 or 6 times. He's like, yeah, he thinks he's invincible. Like, that man's in his almost 70s.
Oh my god.
And can't be touched.
Yeah.
Like, the dude's insane.
He's very... I didn't know he did that like 6 times.
Oh, apparently the behind the scenes feature, he's like, let's do it again. I'm gonna let go of the motorcycle a little earlier.
So, he like went through like, what, 6 motorcycles?
Apparently.
Threw him off the cliff. Dang.
You gotta respect that. So then the 3rd movie is The Rabbit Foot, which becomes so important in this movie.
Mm-hmm. I never understood the importance of the rabbit foot.
In the new movie? Or in the movie itself?
In the movie itself.
Well, in the movie itself,
Did they explain what the rabbit foot was?
So in the 3rd movie, in the last movie, they finally explained it. In the 3rd movie, Tom Cruise kind of retires, gets married, gets called back in because someone he trained is in trouble, and then his wife gets kidnapped, and he has to go steal this rabbit foot, which in the movie is heavily implied to be a biovirus. Is kind of what they imply in the
Chimera?
movie. Kinda.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
It's kind of hinted at, but they never really they're never too.
Because it wasn't a biohazard.
It was, which is why.
Is this another virus?
It's kind of what is implied.
Yeah. That's
kind of retconned here, but it's not a real retcon because they never explained it.
Yeah.
Because Tom Cruise steals it to save his wife, and then, steals it back and whatever. It's Tom Cruise. He successfully stops it.
Yeah.
And then he tells Lawrence Fishburne, like, what is it? What is the rabbit's foot? And he's like, well, promise me you'll stay and I'll tell you. And Tom Cruise just kind of laughs and walks away, implying that, he's not staying.
Yeah,
he's done. Because that was supposed to be the last movie.
Oh, wow.
Well, because the next one didn't come out for like a decade later. They were done. It was a trilogy. So it's implied he retired. But then we get the Ghost Protocol, and clearly he didn't.
Yeah.
So he never found out what was in it until the 8th movie. And then Ghost Protocol was, help me with this, one was Ghost Protocol about, was that the whole program gets shut down, right? Yeah, the whole program gets shut down.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin's in it. Hawkeye, is that the one with them, or are they in the next one?
Hawkeye's in it, I believe.
And Alec Baldwin, yeah.
Yeah.
And Alec Baldwin is trying to stop it. And then in the next movie, Alec Baldwin is now their boss. And Hawkeye is kind of running point on everything. And then they're both just gone from the franchise after that.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise's wife is kind of in witness protection.
I thought she just left. She was in witness protection?
They kind of like faked her death, right? Like
his wife?
Yeah.
No, they didn't they divorce because after like what movie was it when he was in prison? He started off when he was in a Russian prison.
Yeah.
That was after he was the movie with his wife, and we were like, oh, how did he end up in prison? And I think they mentioned that. The lifestyle he lived.
At the end, he sees his wife but doesn't talk to her. It's kind of implied like no one's supposed to know she's around. And Hawkeye feels bad because he got her killed, but she's not killed.
They killed an imposter. She had a
that's what I'm saying. Faked her death.
Yeah.
Because Hawkeye thought he was responsible for her dying, but she wasn't dead.
Yeah. Are you talking about Hawkeye's wife?
No, I'm talking about Ethan Hunt's wife.
Yeah. Because Hawkeye's wife... he thought he killed her, but she wasn't dead.
He thought he killed Ethan Hunt's wife. He thought that he did a bad job of protecting her.
Oh, he thought he killed her. Okay.
That he was responsible for her death.
Confused. I thought he killed his wife.
No.
He
thought that he messed up when he was supposed to protect her.
Okay, gotcha.
Not that he killed her personally, but that he didn't do a good job protecting her.
Yeah.
Then we find out she's married to the dude from Yellowstone in the movie with Henry Cavill.
Oh.
Have you seen Yellowstone?
No.
Yellowstone's good.
I heard that it's really good.
Really
a lot of people say it's really good.
That one was good.
Yeah, he was very super friendly, her husband.
Yes.
He was like, no, you guys should stay and catch up with each other. And they're like, nah. He's like, no, I insist.
Apparently in Ghost Protocol, Luther's not in it because they didn't want to pay him what he thought he was worth. That's why he's only in one scene in the movie.
I was like, wait, Luther isn't in that movie.
I had to look it up. He's in one scene.
Yeah.
And it's because they were contract negogations and they were being stingy.
Yeah, I was like, what happened to Luther? He just like...
He's kind of the best part. I love his character. But then... So then we get the Rogue Nation, and then... What's the one? Is Rogue Nation the one with Henry Cavill? Henry Cavill's such an asshole in that movie.
Is that Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if that's Rogue Nation.
It might be. Such an asshole.
He was an asshole. He was. I don't know why. He's Superman. Why is he make? I guess he plays a good asshole.
He does. I bought it. I was like, kick his ass, Ethan Hunt.
I was like, dang. Because first he was playing a friend, and then since the beginning he was an asshole. Because when they were out of the plane,
you thought he was an asshole who was a good guy. Then he turned out to be an asshole who was a traitor.
When they were jumping out of the plane, Tom Cruise was like, "Don't forget your oxygen" or something, or like. And
Tom Cruise saved him.
Yeah, and then he was like, "We shouldn't jump because there's a storm," and he's like, "Oh, lighten up" or something, and he just jumped, and then.
Tom Cruise saved him. And then he throws shade at Tom Cruise like, "Oh, and you warned me about my oxygen." It's motherfucker, you have his!
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, you lost your oxygen." And I was like, really? Yeah, he was an asshole throughout the movie.
Such an asshole!
And at the end, he just became a really big asshole because he was
a traitor.
Yeah.
And that mustache is what destroyed Justice League.
His mustache?
So Justice League finished filming, and then they needed to do reshoots. He refused to shave the mustache because he was filming Mission Impossible. So there are scenes in the original edit of Justice League where you can kind of tell that it was CGI removed.
Oh my god. He's like, I don't want him to shave. So he's an asshole in real life.
No, he was under contract.
Oh.
He couldn't shave the mustache.
Oh, he couldn't shave it. Okay. I thought he refused.
No, he couldn't shave it because he was under contract.
The mustache makes him look like a jerk.
Does, right?
Yeah.
Oh. he plays, for someone who's usually playing good guys, he plays an asshole well.
He does. I was like, man, he's a jerk.
and then we get part 7, which was Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Dead Reckoning.
Even though Final Reckoning is no longer Part 2.
What do you mean it's no longer Part 2?
It's not called Part 2. They called Dead Reckoning Part 1. Like, I have the Blu-ray over there. It says Dead Reckoning Part 1. Mm-hmm. But this movie's just called Final Reckoning. There's no Part 2 or anything like that as part of the title.
Oh, it just says Final Reckoning.
Just as Final Reckoning.
But it's implied that it's Part 2.
Yeah, yeah. Because that one was such a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But we get new characters who are trying to hunt them down. Once again, Ethan Hunt is
they had to go find
on the run. And so this is what I was talking to Ash about. The first 3 movies are kind of, their own things. Mm-hmm. But then 4 through 7, they keep doing the same storylines over and over again. He's always on the outs from the American government, and the organization keeps getting shut down. And it's just like, they're all done so differently, but it's the same shit happening over and over again.
That's true.
Do you notice that?
Yeah.
But there's this entity after them and all this stuff. And then we find out that the entity was the rabbit's foot.
Oh, yeah, we do find that out.
And so Ethan Hunt set all of this into motion. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, damn. And then we find out that the cop who was after him the whole time, the one who's like, I don't like you, yada, yada, yada. The white cop, the black cop, his partner joined up with Ethan Hunt, but the white cop who was after him for the last 2 movies. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I'm trying to remember. He was after him the last 2 movies.
In 7 and 8, he was after him.
Mm-hmm. I think I remember. And then at the end...
Shook his hand at the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it comes out in this movie, spoiler, that he's the son... of the villain from the first movie.
Yes.
He's the son of the guy who was the star of all the TV shows. He was
like, shake my hand, and he didn't want to shake him hand until the very end.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so he's revealed to be the son of the TV show's main star.
And
and the villain in the first
movie. Yeah.
So they tied it all back to the TV
Yeah.
shows in the movie, which I was like, that is cool.
Yeah.
That's classy.
I
like
didn't
that.
watch the TV shows, but I remembered the villain from the first.
Well, this movie had a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah, it did. I didn't even recognize
of flashbacks.
the guy in the control room when he was stealing the knock list.
I love that they brought him back.
I didn't even recognize him, and then he was like, "Oh, I remember you. I met you 30 years ago."
When they said that scene, I almost walked out of the theater.
I know. I was like, "What?"
I was like,
years ago?
the first movie came out 30 years ago. I'm going home.
I know.
How dare you?
That's such a huge number. 30 years ago. We were alive.
I watched it in theaters with my mom.
Oh, my God.
I was like, dear God,
We're
why?
older than that.
Why? I still think the 90s was like 10 years ago.
I know, it still feels like it. Like, where did the time go?
Into Mission Impossible movies, apparently.
Well, I didn't even watch all the Mission Impossible movies till like a week ago.
Oh, I watch them every time they come out.
Really?
Yeah, I love the Mission Impossible movies.
I didn't care for them.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't watch them. I saw the first one, but I didn't see the others. Maybe because I didn't watch a lot of movies either. I didn't watch a lot of movies. I'm watching more movies now. Like, I'm watching a movie every week now that I got the AMC app.
Well, now you can watch 4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, now that I got the app, I'm watching a movie like every week now.
The Mission Impossible movies are fun.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch the Bourne movies because that was one franchise that I didn't get too into.
The what movie?
The Bourne movies, the Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy.
That's
all
also
those.
a spy movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, after watching Mission Impossible, I'm like, I want to watch all the James Bond movies.
James Bond is a completely different beast than Mission Impossible.
Yeah, because you know how he's part of the IMF, and they were referencing MI6.
Yes.
Which is James Bond. I was like,
Well,
ooh.
not just that though. Like you gotta understand. Ethan Hunt is a smart guy.
Yeah.
But those Mission Impossible movies are action movies.
Yeah.
James Bond movies have action set pieces, and they've definitely gotten more.
Yeah, they're not very action-packed like Mission Impossible.
No, and they've gotten more action packed. Especially the Daniel Craig ones are a lot more action packed than the older ones.
Yeah.
But the Mission Impossible movies have always been kind of gentleman's movies. They're a lot slower paced, a lot more like let's go on this journey. It's not action scene after action scene after action scene. And then there's always the let's seduce the hot lady who turns out to be evil. the femme fatales.
Oh, yeah.
Like James Bond, if you're going into it expecting more Mission Impossible, that's not what you're going to get.
Yeah.
They're a lot more leisurely. They're good. I love the James Bond movies, but they're completely different than these movies. If you want more Mission Impossible movies, you got to go like what's the Chris Hemsworth movies on Netflix? Extractor or whatever. Or you can go the Denzel movies. Equalizer.
Equalizer was good.
Though there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
John Wick movies.
Ooh, I can't wait for Ballerina.
Yes. I put off the John Wick movies for so long, and then as soon as as soon as I saw the first one, I was like,
yeah,
okay, I was wrong. These movies are brilliant.
I didn't watch it. Yeah, everybody kept talking about John Wick, and I was like, oh, I didn't really care for it.
Yeah, I refused. But the second I watched the first one,
oh my god.
Have you seen the show?
There's a show?
There's a show called The Continental.
No.
It's only 3 episodes. Mel Gibson's the bad guy in it.
Wow.
It's like a prequel.
Okay. Oh, so like a prequel, like what happens before.
Yes. It's The Continental, like way before.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
John Wick has nothing to do with it.
Oh.
It's about the hotel.
Okay.
But I love...
John Wick is very action-packed.
Oh, yeah.
It's non-stop. He's just non-stop.
This is what happens when you kill dogs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was so upset. After that, if any movie that kills animals, I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't want to watch this.
Fucking Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yes. Stupid Theon.
This is why you got your dick cut off.
Exactly. But yeah, I gave it a chance after that, and I was like, oh, these movies are really good.
They're great.
Yeah.
But that's not what James Bond is.
No, it's not. No. I like the story lines in James Bond. but
James
I haven't
Bond is
watched
great.
that
They're great. I'm just saying, don't go into it looking for Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I guess I like the spy.
Yes, it is a lot more spy heavy, especially like the mid movies. A lot more gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Pierce Brosnan ones.
I do too.
Those are so much fun.
Maybe it's because one of my favorite games is GoldenEye, and I'm like, oh, I love this.
GoldenEye's a good movie.
Yeah. But
there's a lot though. There's so many action movies now.
yeah.
Good
Yeah.
God.
Ballerina is coming up.
Apparently they're doing a John Wick cartoon from like a John Wick prequel
Wow.
movie. So when John Wick was young, just starting out,
Wow.
they're building up this John Wick universe.
Wow. I thought it was over because at the very last movie,
He's not dead.
It implied that he died, and I was like,
they're at his gravesite.
wait, they're actually at his gravesite?
In the last movie, that's where it
I don't
ends. At
remember
his gravesite. Yeah.
I saw he was like kind of limp over, but I don't remember his gravesite.
No, the very end of the movie, if I remember correctly. I have to rewatch it now, but it's
So he
it's at
faked his death?
Yeah, of course he
Oh,
faked his
wow,
death. John Wick's
okay.
not dead.
I didn't. Well, obviously, because you see him in the trailer.
Yeah. Well, this movie takes place before Part 4.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this movie doesn't take place after.
Oh, really?
I saw a timeline thing, and it's like this one takes place after 3.
Then he is dead.
No, because they're making a 5.
They're making a 5?
Yeah, they're making a John Wick
How do you
5.
know he's dead? Not dead. He's dead, and Ballerina is taking over.
No, this is a spin-off. This isn't a like...
Ballerina is taking over.
No!
Yes.
John Wick is alive!
John Wick is dead, and this chick is gonna take over the franchise. You don't think so?
No!
How do you know?
Because John Wick's alive. Keanu Reeves
They
is
were at
not
his
going
grave.
anywhere.
Why were they at
People
his
fake their
grave?
death in movies all the time. There's a scene in one of the Marvel movies where Nick Fury's hanging out at his own gravesite. I think it's Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's true.
Like, what are we talking about? Like,
I mean, what's her name? The Widow? Black Widow?
look what? Well, she's dead.
She's dead.
Scarlett Johansson has even said, people gotta let it go. I'm not going back to those movies.
I don't think she faked her death.
No. She's made it clear. She has no desire to revisit.
She's doing Jurassic World now.
So I was listening to his podcast, and they were talking about the new Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And so on Tell 'em Steve Day, Walt Flanagan was like, do you think, because Q was like, this new one looks really good, I'm excited for it. And then Walt Flanagan was like, do you think Jurassic Park has an obligation, with the information we've gotten about dinosaurs since the first movies come out, to make dinosaurs more realistic to what we now believe they look like? Giant birds. And Q's like, no, not at all. And he's like, you don't think the T-Rex should have feathers? And he's like, no, I don't want a giant.
One of the movies have them as giant, with feathers.
One of the dinosaurs, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, that's realistic.
But they're
not
now
all.
thinking a lot more were like that.
Yeah.
And Q's like, no.
But I did like that one of the dinosaurs looked realistic.
Yeah, but I don't want a T-Rex looking like a giant chicken.
But they do look scary. I want them to look scary.
Yeah,
And they do.
it's a movie. It doesn't have to be realistic.
Yeah.
No one's asking for realistic dinosaurs.
Well, I guess somebody was.
But it's like if you look at like a hippo skeleton, you would never imagine it looks like a hippo, right? Hippos don't look creepy or intimidating, right?
No.
But go look at a hippo skull. It's fucking terrifying.
Oh, I would imagine, because a hippo its head is pretty big. Well, hippos are big.
It has giant teeth.
Yeah.
You would think that a hippo, if you saw its skeleton and never saw what the real thing looked like, it's something out of a horror movie.
Wow.
So who knows what dinosaurs look like? You can't base it off of their skeleton structure. We just said, oh, they're giant lizards, and moved on with our lives.
True.
And I'd rather them be giant lizards than giant birds.
But I mean, if you look at their teeth, then you know that they're like at least somewhat scary.
Yeah, because birds don't have teeth, right? Do birds have teeth? Birds don't have teeth.
No.
So they clearly weren't birds.
No, they weren't birds. But like the T-Rex, I think the T-Rex or one of them, like they evolved from the bird.
Birds evolved from that.
Yeah, like they evolved, but they weren't. They didn't look like a bird, but a lot of them had feathers.
But here's the thing. When we say birds evolved from dinosaurs, we're talking about certain dinosaurs.
Yes, certain
I
dinosaurs.
can't see a T-Rex becoming a bird.
I don't know. I took zoology such a long time ago, so I don't know. I don't remember which dinosaurs, but I think it was like part of the T-Rex family.
Okay, but
that evolved.
Dogs evolved from wolves,
Yeah.
right? Now that was we evolved them from that.
Yeah.
And well, I think I just disproved my own point. Because I was like, you can still see the
Yeah.
connections, but then you look at a
'Cause,
Chihuahua.
it's like the bone structure, like not. It's like, and you have to remember, like dinosaurs, like
40 million years
so
ago.
many, billions of years ago, and like
Was it billions or millions? I thought it was like 40 million.
I don't know, but it was a long.
I don't think it was billions of years ago. I think it was millions, like 40 million.
Yeah. So it takes a really long time for them to evolve.
Well, yeah, and the Chihuahua disproves my entire point.
Yeah.
Because the Chihuahua was so tiny, and you will never find a wolf that tiny.
Because there's these thing called lobed-finned fish. They have like these arms, and they're fish, but they're like, they have arms.
Well, the prevailing theory is that we all come from the ocean, right?
Yeah, like we came from like a lobe-finned fish. That's like a theory. And it does make sense because you look at their arms and they evolve into hands. They look like they can evolve into hands. And you look at like their bones.
Evolution is tricky.
Yeah, it's really trippy.
I don't understand how people don't believe in it, though, because it's like, well, how do you explain children?
That's true.
Because your children is a mixture of, like Leo's, a mixture of you and Nina.
Oh, yeah.
So, isn't that evolution in and of itself?
Yeah.
You're taking traits from two different things, combining it into being a new person.
Yeah.
How do you deny evolution?
I think, because I guess the people who deny evolution are the ones who think that I don't know, Adam and Eve.
I've always took a lot of the stories in
feel
the
like-
Bible to be more metaphoric.
I think they feel like we all come from Adam and Eve, but I don't know how.
It's genetically not possible.
It's not possible.
And also, it doesn't, even in the Bible itself, it doesn't make sense because Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, but then Cain and Abel got married. So who did Cain and Abel get married to? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then their kids got married. So unless these are all just siblings getting married to siblings,
Yeah.
and Adam and Eve had daughters that are never mentioned, clearly there were other people.
Yeah. So, I feel like we'll never 100% know for sure. But I don't know. Evolution seems like,
100%
100%.
evolution. Yeah.
Because, you look at, like, monkeys and primates.
Well,
and
we're
they're-
primates.
Yeah.
We're
like,
hairy ass men. Look at that. We're hairy mammals.
we have, like, the same kind of bone structure, and, like, they do, like, similar things. And I'm like, yeah, we 100%, like, have the same characteristics.
Yeah. Although I just was reading something that was saying that if humanity went extinct, the next great civilization wouldn't be like primates. It wouldn't be great apes or monkeys or anything like that. Although we're not really close to monkeys, right? We're closer to chimpanzees or great apes. Probably great
That's
apes,
a great
right?
question, yeah.
But the next great civilization would be octopus.
Octopus.
Which I'm like, what? I want to see that.
Octopus.
Yeah, apparently like they have intelligence and
They do. They're really smart. That's what I read too. Like their brain.
I'm like that's
Yeah.
terrifying. What if the octopus invade us? It's a war.
Yeah, but I never see octopus. They're like so deep in the sea.
Deep in the sea. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if we eventually get down to like the depths of the ocean and there's a whole kingdom of highly advanced octopi just running havoc.
Man.
And they're more advanced than us.
They have like a whole city down there.
Whole countries.
That'll be crazy. Oh my gosh.
That would
And
be
then they
dope.
eventually like grow 8 legs.
Well, they have 8 legs.
Yeah, but eventually grow walking legs and then they walk on the land.
That would be crazy.
You go to the beach and you just see like an army of
The ocean. They just come storming out. Oh
Oh
God.
my god, that would be so funny and scary at the same time.
I've never ate octopus, I swear.
God, I've never seen an octopus like at an ocean before.
No, they're deep sea
I guess
creatures.
they're deep sea, yeah. Because I've seen whales. Yeah, and dolphins.
Well, whales are mammals, though.
Yeah.
Whales need to breathe oxygen.
Yeah, true. They have to breathe.
So they have to
Their little
surface.
Surface, yeah.
Here's my question. Maybe this is a stupid question, but I've always wondered this. How do fish sleep? Do they sleep or are they just awake 24/7?
I'm sure they sleep, but they just are just like other animals. I guess they have to like have somebody, or they have some kind of instinct where if someone's hunting them, they have like some kind of reaction. Like quick
Well, I heard that like if sharks stop swimming, they can't breathe. Dolphins and whales need oxygen, so they can't lay down.
I'm guessing they float and they have their blowhole at the top, which they get oxygen.
Aren't you a marine biologist? How do you not know all this?
I took zoology, and I just know they have a blowhole at the top, but they never talked about them sleeping. Their circadian rhythm, I don't know.
Because everything has to sleep, right?
I'm assuming everything has to sleep, yeah.
Well, do plants sleep?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because there's been more and more studies that plants have thoughts, plants communicate to one another,
Yeah.
they speak. Apparently it's so high pitched we can't hear it, but they do communicate.
Oh, wow.
So do plants sleep?
I'm sure
I feel like these are questions you ask when you're high, but neither one of us are high.
I think plants sleep at night, and they wake up with the sun.
Okay.
I think. That's a
Some
good thing.
weird, trippy questions.
Yeah, that's something I want to look up. Oh, man.
These are the important questions, ladies and gentlemen.
They're very important questions.
Do plants sleep, and how do fish sleep?
Yeah, please let us know if you know the
If you're a marine biologist,
I wanted to be a marine biologist, but in Texas, there's not.
Texas is not the place.
Yeah,
for
not
it.
the place for it.
You'd have to move somewhere.
I know. I was like, yeah, you have to go somewhere by the ocean.
Good God, man.
Oh man,
Mission Impossible movies were great though,
they were.
and dinosaurs should stay giant lizards.
I mean, I wouldn't oppose to them being more realistic as long as they're still scary and big.
You want to turn the T-Rex into a giant chicken?
I mean, if he had feathers, but not a chicken, but if he looked scary, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Like, if they made him look really terrifying and vicious, but yet still realistic, I would be like, okay, that's cool. But if he just looks ridiculous, then I wouldn't. I wouldn't want that.
Oh God! I just want to. What sound do chickens make? Like clucking sounds.
Cluck, cluck, cluck.
Yeah. Instead of a giant roar, it's a giant cluck. Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
Bloody hell. But I am Jonathan.
I'm Zelda.
Give us legends.
Give us not realistic dinosaurs.
There you go.